currently doing Japan tour on bicycle, and I completed the first chapter, which was to cycle from south of Kyushu to Osaka. And in this episode, I will go through the map. And the purpose of the video would be to help other people who are interested in touring Japan. So let's check out the route. And I'm using mappe.com. It was previously called Mappe CZ. I guess a Czech application, but now they are mappe.com. It's similar to Komoot. Under it uses the OpenStreetMap, as you can see in the bottom left corner here. So it's different from Google. And here I'm saving my routes in a folder, Japan tour. And let's see, so I started let's see what is the distance. It's around 1,400 kilometers, with a lot of elevation gain and down, but this is not shown here. So I started in the city of Takatsuki, which is actually I didn't add this part, but I started in Takatsuki. I went to Osaka port, around 40 kilometers, and I took a night ferry for around 13,000 yen with my bicycle fully loaded. It was just standing on the ferry deck. I went to Kagoshima prefecture, I think it is, to the city of Shibushi. So perhaps travelers without their own type of transport, they would maybe go by bus to Kagoshima or something like this. I cycled on from here, and at the start I decided to follow some Kyushu PDF cycling map, which pointed out this route, instead of just cutting to this Sakurajima. I don't know why does it say man on. So started in Shibushi, following this route. It was quite beautiful. Coastal route, some elevation gain, not so much, but for me at the time it was extra hard as I was just starting out. I was not used to bicycle and carrying a lot of load, so I was dying the first days. So some highlights here. There was this beautiful bay, and I was camping at the top of a mountain here. And somewhere in this location there is the Japanese rocket center, the rockets which go into the space. This segment was not the green road, but for example these smaller roads here. It was very beautiful, very countryside, very mountains surrounding, small village with beautiful red bridge. And then it was on the coast again, and actually this coastal road is really beautiful. You can maybe see mountains from this part, from the west part, and Sakurajima, which is a big, beautiful, very scenic and iconic volcano of Japan. And so I think I wild camped here somewhere, and my trip started March 17th, so it was still cold, a bit cold, and at night especially around 0 degrees. I continued to cycle on this coastal road, which is quite busy, not crazy, but busy. And I had a very pleasant camp in this place. Actually, I think one of my best experiences, my favorite travel experiences during this 2 months so far of travel. Very lovely camp owners, young people I met there. And of course, I'll also attach a map with all the checkpoints which I mention and which I don't mention. So yeah, maybe somewhere here or maybe even somewhere more down. No, I think somewhere around Tarumizu you will get more views of the beautiful Sakurajima. And we can briefly take a look. Yes, this how it usually looks like. Maybe no more spoilers. It's very beautiful, very iconic. Mm, for me, as iconic as Mount Fuji, as though I didn't see much Mount Fuji. So sorry for that. Continue cycling here. There was one Michinoeki, which is roadside station with an onsen. I stopped and I cycled to this campsite. At this point, I was basically dying. My back, my body, my knees. I was considering giving up. So I spent 2 days at this cheap campsite. It was around 800 yen. Very big, also very beautiful, very great views of Sakurajima. And fortunately, I regenerated a bit. I sent a little bit package back to my partner in Takatsuki. And I continued on cycling a little bit lighter. From Kirishima, I want to reach Amax Island. I take a brief stop somewhere in the midst of Kyushu, close to Satsume Sendai. I keep on cycling, do some kind of mountain pass here, but not crazy elevations. My knee, by the way, is a little bit atrophic, so it's a little bit falling apart. So if you're a fit person, I think you should not have much problems. And I stayed in Izumi, actually in a hotel for 5,000 yen a night, so quite expensive for a long-term trip. But it was raining, so I took even more rest. I enjoyed the good buffet here, eating a lot. Yeah, at that point I was still a little bit beat up. Only by the end of this trip I'm getting more and more stronger, so that's good. Here you can watch some cranes during the season, which is before, like from February to March, something around that time. You can double check that if you're at that time in that place. And here comes the Nagashima. I cycled here and I stumbled upon some viewpoint, and also at that day I discover I can stand up when pedaling and it's much easier. So I challenge myself and I go up this mountain. And actually there was very good view and not so many people, so I decided to camp there, stealth camping. Very good, nobody interrupted me, no animals. And the next point would be Amakusa Islands, also quite famous place. There was some quick, cheap, not so expensive ferry from Nagashima to Amakusa. You don't need to do any reservations. You just go in and take the next incoming ship. And in Amakusa, I took this right side, east side coastal road. I really liked it. It was very beautiful. So I think I discover myself as not the biggest fan of the coastal roads, especially when the wind is blowing in my face. But yeah, there was some really beautiful roads, sometimes quite narrow, which is good for bicycle because it's like more cozy, and when the cars are going, they go very slow. So that was cool, interesting road. Mm, then it was starting to rain, so I a little bit decided not to camp actually, and it was so freaking cold. And I just speed run to Amaxa where I found a rider house, which is cheap accommodation, mm, specifically for I think motorbike riders. But I talked with the guy; it was okay. And for the note, I do speak Japanese language. I study for 3 years. I speak, I would say, basic, but enough to do some small talk. But also, I don't understand a lot. But yeah, and then from Amakusa, the next goal was Nagasaki. I was really unsure if I could take this ship with the bicycle from Tomioka. Yeah, from Tomioka. Here's also a castle next to the port. I didn't see it. And yeah, as I made a phone call, it turns out you can take this ferry here. It's very small. It's quite small ferry. I mean, there's no space for motorbikes or cars, and my bicycle was just strapped to like a pole on a small outside part of the boat. But yeah, like two bikes, I think no problem. 4 bikes, yeah, I guess they can strap it also to the barriers. Um, should be doable. And here, this place, it will depend on the wind if you can go or not. I mean, if the wind is strong, I mean, the sea might be wavy and they might cancel the boat. So they will probably tell you if the boat will go 1 hour before departure. I think you should find some. There are problems. There's one campsite here, legal. I don't know what is the cost. Not sure. You can try it out, or I think you should be able to camp even while somewhere here. And after the boat, which was around, oh no, 1 hour, I think. Um, arrived close to Nagasaki. Here, go this little bit quite steep road here, and then cycle on. And really beautiful view coming into the Nagasaki. Really, something that was something else. Something quite. It hits differently. Very beautiful city, especially looking from the top, and also later the night view on this Mount Inasa right here are also amazing. And there was also really cheap guest house Showa, 2000 yen for bicycle riders, and a lot of people touring Japan, going around Japan. Mostly Japanese people came there, but the owner I think also would be happy to host not non-Japanese speaking people. He was really lovely. He behaved like a father. He In his guest house a lot of snacks and food was free. He provided a lot. It was great. He also drove me to the mountain Asa, so I'm really thankful for him for that. To him for that. And cycling on to the east, I wanted to go to Kumamoto, but I was a little bit checking out this unzen here, and I decided to go here to this unzen place. And here stopped on some campsite for 2000 yen around, with great views of this mountain, Mount Unzen. And did 20 kilometers with around 800 or 1000 elevation. That was a bit tough for me, so I was just taking my time on this 20-kilometer ride. And the small road was quite lovely. I could chill. And here it was normal road with not so many cars, but still there were some. So it was not so magical in here, as you can see. There is some snails. Here was some small beautiful lake, and you arrive Unzen. I went first night to a campsite. I think 2000 yen, and then I decided it was definitely too cold, and I moved to a guest house which was 3000 yen per night in the dead center of Unzen. And actually, wait, where is it? I think yeah, my at this yeah, Otsudoi. Yeah, this very nice guest house. The owner is just, his character is like really kind, delicate, and warm. I think this man is quite like sensitive. I mean, like in a good way, sensitive person. You can hear his voice is like a poem, maybe. It was just good, and you can do a hike here to the Heisei Shinzan, I guess, to this mountain. It's a very nice hike, very beautiful. And then cycle a little bit up around 300 meters, and then you can almost all the time go down to almost all the time you can go to Shimabara, where there is a castle if you want to do some side viewing. Also very cool castle. And from there I went to Kumamoto city. In Kumamoto, you arrive at Shirakawa river. This is this river here, and I just decided to camp there as there was a lot of space. It was mostly alright camp, but somebody flashlight at me at night. But other than that, it was alright. Usually, I don't have this type of weird experience. And from Kumamoto, I wanna reach Aso. So I cycle on to the so I cycle on to the city of Minami Aso. It's not special, right? I mean the views when you're approaching Aso are getting very interesting, very beautiful. But other than that, it's just big city Kumamoto and escaping it. Then some of the big roads, and like around Aso there is a big wall like in Game of Thrones. This wall is everywhere around it. But just this passage here, if you're coming from here, there's not so much elevation. There's small pass, I guess carved by a river. Stayed at some camp here. Also, no, not so cheap. Maybe 1000 yen, but not providing actually much other than just peace of mind. And then also really small ride as I was dead again. Maybe you're quite noticing I'm not a very strong person. I don't know. And I cycled just these 20 kilometers to the city of Aso, which is a touristic hub, but a very very nice one, I would say, with a lot of great foods, nice michinoeki. There was a really beautiful Aso backpackers base hostel. Really the cleanest place I've been to, with great like atmosphere in the common spaces and with great amenities. Like the kitchen was very great, very new, very clean, knives sharp. You can have coffee, tea, and I did go to Mount Aso and hike also Takadake. I went by bus, but it's also great cycling somewhere in this Aso area. On top is recommended for if you're cycling, and if you have enough power, you will be rewarded with great views, plains. If you get above certain elevation, the forest will stay below you and you'll see more and more. And also at this at any point where you will reach this wall around Aso, there are also great views. You can admire Aso from distance, which gives some other perspective. Oh, and I just noticed here is like a lot of interesting rivers. That's cool. And from Aso I went to Kuroka Onsen. To be honest, it's my second time in Kuroka Onsen, but I don't like it so much. I don't like it so much. This place is, I guess, it's for expensive hotels. You can go to many onsens for not so much. For 1,500 yen, you can go to 3 onsens of your choice. But yeah, there's no like very nice restaurant for backpackers, or there wasn't, I think, no cafe. I just hide here behind the information center. There is a rest area with tatami, so I was just lying there for a few hours because it was raining almost all day there. Yeah, if you have never been there, it's a good place. But to be honest, for me, it was nothing too special. Was also one cheap guest house here for around 3,000 yen. Guy working at a gas station, just at the entrance to Kuroka Onsen, or right here at the Cosmo. He runs a guest house a little bit somewhere around here, and he took me with his truck to the guest house. He carried my bicycle on the truck. That's good because there was some quite elevation. It was raining, and I stayed at his place because the ryokans, the traditional hotels in the Kuroka onsen are no cheap at all. This the more expensive Japanese experience, which for sure is also very good if you have money for that. Then yeah, I would also love to stay in some of these. Not gonna lie, but I'm a cheap ass person with not so much money, and I wanna see the world. And from Kurokawa Onsen, I went to Yufuin. I think maybe I regenerate a little bit because the distance got bigger. That ride, yeah, very very nice, very interesting, especially approaching Yufuin. It was beautiful, and especially entering somewhere here. Entering Yufuin, when you see the Mount Yufu, the view is just so magnificent and spectacular. Mount Yufu, like, is standing tall proudly on the background of a blue sky. And this city is small, very quite touristic city. A lot of Asians, especially South Koreans, some Chinese come here, some Taiwanese. Not so many Western people come here. There are some, but not so many. And yeah, for you crazy adventurous freaks, you can climb the Mount Yufu. I mean, it's not hard or something, just nice exercise. Also, again, I really recommend climbing here. It gives you great views of all the surrounding area. I think you can even maybe see the Mount Aso. Maybe, I don't know. And you can see Beppu and Oita with the bay. It's great view. Takes around 6 hours hike here. And then there's not a big distance to the city of Beppu. Also, I really would recommend the city of Beppu. It's beautiful. It has nice, great river with nice path along it. Very green, beautiful sea, and it's a bit on the west side. It's higher, so it's a little bit like from a small mountain view. You can take a look down into the Beppu city, and yeah. From Beppu, I went to Oita. There I was waiting to receive one package. I met with my friend. I went to Ifuin again. I did 1 week of volunteer, but I will maybe not go so much over this as I want to focus more on the route in this video. And from Beppu again, I took a ferry to Yokohama. I didn't take ferry to this place. I don't want to cycle here. I guess it's just busy road, maybe. I don't know. Maybe this yellow one would be interesting adventure if you're up for that, but make your research or just go on an adventure. I went to Yokohama wild camping somewhere on top of a mountain. I might have an encounter with a bear over there. Not sure what animal was that, but I was freaking. I thought I would die, literally. And yeah, from Yokohama went to down here somewhere next to Shimanto River. I did some wild camping, but it's marked on Google as a campground. Then maybe I think following more Shimanto River or something like this. A little bit north of Shimanto City, next camp. This one for free, and actually, but the cycling here really good, really beautiful. It's very different from Kyushu, at least from the parts I cycled. It's cozy. You are surrounded by mountains. You usually cycle. You 90% you will cycle somewhere along some river. Just very different vibe, very different thing. And moved to our next campsite, and then went to the city of Kochi, where it's another free campsite. So we're getting more and more free campsite. That's good. Here you can take a free boat through these points because this bridge just the sidewalk is very narrow and it's hard to cycle on. I'm not sure if you can cycle on the road here. Maybe you can, I don't know, but also you can take this boat for free. Yeah, if you want to cycle here, it's possible on, if not on the road, on the sidewalk. And this bridge has some elevation because it's very tall to allow ships to go under it. And just on this part there is a big campsite amongst the Japanese black pine trees, giving just a beautiful relaxing smell of the pines. And then cycling into the Iya Valley. What do we have? some campsite, Hokikamine, it was free, as you can see and hear. A lot of free campsites here, and the weather was also getting better, so happy to camp. And then to the Iya Valley, to the Kazurabashi Bridge. There is next to the close to the bridge there is a campsite, quite cheap, I think 600 yen or 700 yen, something like this. And close to this biggest touristic attraction of this place, but it's very beautiful place. You can take here's some onsens along the way close to the bridge. There is some like small snack and restaurant, so you can have some food. And there is also small grocery and souvenir shop here, so it should be good. And then cycle to the next vine bridges in the Okuiya. So this is still the Iya K or Iya Valley. And here's another very cheap campsite for around 500-600 yen. I stayed here 2 nights, and you just need to pay for 1 night. So you just pay to cross the bridge, as it's touristic attraction, and you pay for campsite, but you can stay more nights. Though there's almost nothing at the campsite. There's just toilet. There was no even vending machine. I mean, at least at the campsite, because you need to get down the bridge and some stairs to get to the campsite, where you will rather not take your bicycle. You can do that, but I think it's just not worth it, like carrying your heavy bicycle down here. And I went up to Tsurugi, climbed it, went down, went back to the campsite, and next day I went again the same route. Actually, you can camp on the top of Mount Tsurugi for free, I think. Maybe a little bit cold, but yeah, there's after getting off this cable car, or you can walk if you want. There is a campsite here. You can pitch your tent and camp legally, and so you can also climb, and maybe the next day you can cycle on. You don't have to climb this part once again, although it's nice. I mean, it's just road going up, not much. Not so super scenic. And then when you cross here this small tunnel next to Tsurugi parking lot, you'll see very beautiful, great mountainous views as you are on the elevation of around 1400 or something. And also this road, very nice views, and the smells were amazing from all the trees. I was just breathing hard when I was going down here, just get into this deep breathing vibe. Yeah, I really loved it. And then I wanted to cycle, I don't know how far, maybe somewhere around Kamiyama, but I actually found a nice abandoned house here. I really wanted to stay one time in an abandoned house. Also, it was raining during the night, so I decided, yeah, I'll just go for it. Yeah, and it was warm. I was protected with the rain. Nothing like kill me, no ghosts. So great abandoned house. Of course, I left everything like it was, untouched. And then in the morning, I quickly rushed 5 kilometers down the road because I really want to take a shit. I'm sorry, like dump. Number 2. And there is some small abandoned, also not used anymore school, somewhere 5 kilometers down here. I guess it's somewhere here. And there's a toilet next to it. So yeah, happily I could relieve myself. Also very nice, great, authentic, I mean, like, original, like back to the roots ramen place. ramen udon soba place here. Ramen for just 600 yen. It was really delicious. I mean, it was just good ramen, from a simple lady. Not like this modern city bullshit. And yeah, for 600 yen, come on. That's a steal. And cycle on to the Kamiyama. I thought I can go to onsen here because there's some Michinoeki roadside station with onsen in the name, but there is no freaking onsen. There is some hotel next to it, but I guess it's expensive or the onsen is closed or something like this. There is campsite here. Actually expensive, maybe 4,000 yen, but please double check. There is some nice restaurants here, I guess in Kamiyama, some bakery, so that's good. And then I just cycled down to Tokushima, mostly a slight elevation going down, so decline, I don't know. And from Tokushima, I stop here at the JR. I make a phone call for the obligatory reservation to cross the bridge to Awaji Island because you cannot cross this bridge by bicycle. You need to go by car, by bus. So you can make a phone call to reserve place for you in the bus on that day, which was I think day after Golden Week. I called, I reserved, it was okay, and there was no other cyclists than me. And there was, I guess, 8 spots for the bicycle in the bus. So I didn't have to cycle this blank part from Tokushima. And I came to Minami Awaji interchange place. And I think there's one campsite somewhere here for 1,000 yen, but I didn't find it at the time. I found one campsite here for 1,600 yen. So I cycled this around 13 kilometers quickly. And also really great campsite again with the Japanese black pines giving amazing smell. I don't know, just something about this smell which I love really much. I did small detour here to take a look at the bridge from the top and cycling the east side of Awaji. It's funny because I also cycle on the east side of Amakusa, so I'm more of a right hand guy type. And yeah, this coastal road, I don't know, just not a big fan of the coastal road. And the smell from the sea is actually not so nice, at least at the time. Came to Sumoto, there's no campsite here, so there are 2 beaches mostly. One very beautiful and big beach with big park, but quite too busy, so I just moved to the next beach and there was way less people. And in the evening, when it got dark, there was actually nobody. While here, some people could still be there. And on the last day, I did quite a big stretch because I just decided, okay, I'll just go back home. I will do that. And I went from Sumoto to Ishia, something like this. I'm not sure the name Ishia, but there is a ferry here until Akashi. Also, you cannot cycle that bridge. There are plans for it, so you can cycle under the bridge in the future, but that's maybe in the future. And from Akashi, I just cycled this huge 70-kilometer distance all the time going through city, this never-ending city for 70 kilometers. Yeah, this just the distance I cycled, but maybe if you will cycle here, Osaka, Akashi, Takasago, Ako, Okayama, Kurashiki, I don't know, maybe you can like have an infinite city here, maybe. Um, and yeah, I came to Takatsuki a little bit with a tear in my eye. That wow, I came by freaking bicycle here, and when I was approaching and getting closer, I was like, oh shit, I know this place. I have been here. That's it. Mm, yeah, but no people, no ovation, no clapping, just modest visit to a ramen shop and going home and taking a shower, which I am also grateful for and happy. Just a bit depressed because I'm sitting in a home now, not being out there, but that will change soon. So it's a rough transition now, I guess. And so that concludes for the route. The route was not planned beforehand. I was planning as I was going, visiting some places I wanna see, and of course I needed to like force myself to visit some places, which in the end was fun, like Unzen or Yufuin. Really nice. I spent most of the time in Kyushu. Was mostly warming up. Also a lot of sightseeing. Shikoku I just very quickly went through, but it was really the scenery of the roads was really beautiful. It was really cozy. Mm, yeah, it was once again 1,500 kilometers. A lot of elevation gain every day, maybe 500 to 1,000 elevation gain, and I just cycle 40 kilometers at max. But yeah, if your body is healthy and you're a fit person, you can cycle more if you don't have much time like I do have now. Yes, if you would have any questions or have some specific requests, uh, then let me know. I would be happy to help. That's why I made this video. Yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.